Hello, everyone. Yes, you're getting 2 podcasts today because there's just so much to get through, and I wanted to give one podcast to As Ever and the great work that Meghan's doing with people involved in helping those who are affected by the LA fires, and just to celebrate those 2 things and give them their own space away from all of the royal drama. So here we have all of the royal drama from the last 48 hours. And also, literally in the last hour, somebody mentioned this in the last podcast, but they were like, oh, I think the images are AI. I hate that we live in that world now, but no, the images are not AI. Harry and Meghan were, in fact, at a baseball game. Looking very happy, living their best life. Made sure As Ever went live. And then we went to enjoy ourselves to a baseball game. All right, let's get on to it. Right, one moment. Okay, let's see who's in the chat. And thank you so much if you're rejoining us from the last podcast. Much appreciated. So, first things first. Just quickly following on from the last podcast with As Ever, because this also just came up on my feed. Somebody said that they saw one order that was £2,000. Here's one that is £1,000. Sorry, dollars. Over $1,000. Lord. So they got 2 signature candles, the 519, 2 of the 084. They got 10 raspberry spreads. They got 2 of the apple cider mulling spice. 6 of the signature fruit spread gift set. So plenty of people getting the gift set for Christmas. 2 of the hot toddy mulling spice kit. And times 10 of the sage honey with honeycomb. Christ. And that all came to a total of $1,304.08. Wow, congratulations to that squaddy. I mean, that is like rent money. It just shows you that Meghan really does have fans who are truly invested in her brand. Because you can go and buy raspberry spread or, candles from any brand, but is it a brand that you connect with? Is there something about that brand that you connect with? And that's what's just so important when you're growing a business and a brand. How you connect with your audience, and do they feel a sense of authenticity that they're able to connect with you? I mean, this is just one order. Like, that is just, wow. I hope they enjoy their order. Also, in light of Meghan going to Paris and, the pictures of Archie and Lily coming out, the other scandal that isn't talked about enough is the royal bot farms. Who is responsible for activating these bot farms? Who has been paying whoever it is? I want you to, in your own time, go on YouTube and look at bot farms, SIM card farms. A lot of the idiots that you're arguing with online, they're just bots. They're not even real people. And it's getting easier to spot which accounts are bots. Actually, when I was with the Sussex Squad podcast, this was a couple of years ago now, I did a whole blog post for their blog on how to spot a bot. This is how far back this issue goes. And it's not just that they were hiring people and continue to hire people, companies, to put out this vitriol via these bot farms about Harry and Meghan and their family. It was also suggested that, I think it was it a BuzzFeed investigation? do you know what? I think I'm actually going to revisit that. The one about William and Kate. Those who have been around for a while. You know what I'm talking about. There was an article some time back about Kensington Palace buying fake followers, because when Meghan came into the royal family, she already had 3 million followers, and then the interest went up. So what was happening was the Kate and William's account was miraculously just growing 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 in a way that was just unnatural. And it would always just keep up with where the Sussex's account was. So, other scandal that needs to be looked at is how much are they paying these firms? Because from what I understand, it can go up to the tens of thousands. It's coming out now in the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively case that him and his team hired one of these bot farm PR groups, and it costs, I think, within the region of 25 to 30,000 that they paid to, put out lots of stuff about Blake Lively through these bots. So this is a technique that is being used by people, whether it's through politics or someone's going through a court case or something with someone, and they want to skew public opinion of that person. They can do this. And here's an example. You can see a lot of these posts. These are responses to Harry and Meghan's pictures, the Halloween pictures, talking about the back of the children's heads. Harry and Meghan are wearing jackets, and the children are not. Snarky comments like "cutest ever," "who cares," "no thanks, I'm gonna watch paint dry." So they can just program the bots to either go after squaddy accounts, and this is what they do. I can't block or delete them fast enough. And what you'll also notice, and I haven't got any examples today, but I have done in the past, where it's the same message repeated over and over and over again. This is so dangerous for so many reasons, especially in the political space, but when it's being used to bully people, and it's been going on for so long, truly awful. All right, that's that with the bot farms. Next, gosh, there's quite a lot to get through with these other royals. Where is my... Yeah, let's just have a quick look at the pictures of Harry and Meghan at the game. In their caps, looking very happy, interacting with the crowd. I don't know who they're with there. Could have just been people just got lucky to sit right next to them. And just notice how just calm and happy everybody around them looks. Like, just no fuss. They're just able to be pretty normal. And I love that for them. That's what they should be able to do. Just be as normal as possible with the rather abnormal lives that they live, but just be at peace. Kennedy, you said, and Meghan met her cousin that is a professional baseball player. Maybe they were at his game. I don't know. I know who you're talking about. I don't know what team he's on. But wasn't he like a very, very distant cousin? Like, very distant cousin. Kay, you said you made 4 orders. The wines are separate orders. I had the sparkling wines I ordered to give as Christmas gifts. Lovely. Blackley, you said, dang, I hope they're a friend of mine. Are you talking about the person that spent like $1,000? Oh, so funny. Leganese, you said, I remember that article. And they started using Sussex Royal instead of staying under the Royal Foundation. Yes. Yeah, KP bought bots to compete. Thank you so much. Laganze, you said, remember Royal Foundation Financials? Just saying, oh yeah, we do remember. I think I read out the whole report. That was a hell of a podcast. All right. Oh, his name is Mookie Betts. He plays for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Okay. Okay, so that's that. On to the situation with Royal Lodge and Andrew. Let me just say this. I don't know what the obsession is with absolutely making sure that Andrew and Fergie and their kids, they just have to be given a castle. Like, can somebody in the chat give me one good reason why they cannot just give them a little cottage somewhere with a normal monthly allowance? Just give them 4 or 5K a month and put them in a cottage somewhere. No staff. You have enough for food, electric bill, water bill, and that's it. Is there any goddamn reason that they just can't do that? That they just can't be reasonable? We're literally out here arguing and debating about which castle they're going to live in. This is ridiculous. Like, these people are so above living humble lives. And 5K a month wouldn't even be humble. That's generous. Andrew should actually be in jail. But we're out here, oh, he's going to be put in this lodge. No, we need to, how about this castle? And now he's talking about he wants 2 pads, one for him, one for Fergie. Ridiculous. I think Fergie actually got money from the sale of another house before. These people, they just don't want to work. They're accustomed to these lavish lifestyles they didn't earn. And while I will also say, on one hand, yes, the institution does clearly use money, security, resources to control people and to make sure that they can't be independent. But there's still no reason why you can just give them humble, modest homes. And I don't even think they deserve that, quite frankly. They don't even deserve that. If it weren't for security reasons, there's no reason why they shouldn't pick up a broom if they have to and go work. Just a normal menial job. But we're out here debating about which castle they get. This is nauseating to me. And now he's saying he needs one for him, one for Fergie. Why? Stick them both in the same house. Now, apparently, Bully William, tried to get Beatrice and Eugenie, according to Emily Mattis in an interview. He tried to get Beatrice and Eugenie to get the dad out. So let's have a listen to this. Oopsie daisy, the volume isn't working.
Whatever anyone's...
Something really odd happened last Thursday night, actually.
No, it's not that. It's not that one.
There was a question over whether there had been, earlier in the day, a meeting between Prince William and the princesses, Beatrice and Eugenie, saying, you guys have got to get your dad to move out of Royal Lodge. Otherwise, we will start re-examining the state of your own titles. I.e., they are, at the moment, allowed to be princesses, but there was a bit of pressure, we understand, being put on the princesses to say, you know, this is going to happen. And obviously, you can see why Andrew, as a father, would want to kind of keep his daughters happy and keep their titles in place, come what may. There was a question over whether there had been, earlier in the day, a meeting between Prince William and the princesses, Beatrice and Eugenie, saying, you guys have got to get your dad to move out of Royal Lodge. Otherwise, we will start re-examining the state of your own titles. I.e., they are, at the moment, allowed to be princesses, but there was a bit of pressure, we understand, being put on the princesses to say, you know, this is going to happen.
And this is what happens when your entire existence rests on titles. And, Beatrice and Eugenie actually had quite a lot of freedom to try and make something of themselves outside of this institution, outside of the identity of their parents. Unlike the heirs and the spares, they actually had a little bit more room to do that. The other thing that happened was, so this is another interview that Emily did. This was with LBC. So there was meant to be this breaking news from Windsor Castle Estate. TV crews were assembling. They were told something was coming and then nothing. And now we know maybe why. So listen to this that Emily said.
Something really odd happened last Thursday night, actually, Sheila, and I became aware that a story was possibly developing around Royal Lodge when lots of media organisations started getting a tip-off that they should send crews down to the gates of Royal Lodge. And the phrase that was used was, there may be passing traffic. And it was such a sort of
a removal
odd
ban.
Well, not anything as strong as that.
No.
It was just this phrase, passing traffic. And so I know that a lot of media organisations scrambled crews. The BBC, I think, scrambled more than a crew. I think they scrambled a helicopter, which started circling over Royal Lodge, waiting for something to happen. So I got wind of this and I said, I think there is going to be a developing story, tipped off about 8 o'clock. And suddenly the whole thing went dead. And what we understand was going to happen was that Prince Charles was going to come via Royal Lodge on the way back from his trip with the Pope, the Vatican in Rome, and was going to possibly read Andrew the Riot Act. That was the passing traffic. The King will be making his way.
A rather nicer car than a removal van.
Exactly. Yeah. And we would then have to sort of piece together what's happened.
Gone on in there.
Exactly.
Kind of thing,
And then I think the palace got nervous. They suddenly started seeing the size of the sort of media spread, the response, the chopper overhead, and they went, hang on a sec, this is all going to sound kind of way overblown. We're pulling it. So the thing that we were waiting...
Never happened.
Something really odd happened last Thursday night, actually.
There you go. By the way, I don't know if this is something that's used in a phrase that's used in other countries or cultures, but reading someone the Riot Act is basically just saying you're going to give them a scolding, like a warning about something. Like she's not referring to any type of like official law or anything like that. It means to give somebody a scolding. So somebody tipped off the news people that this was going to happen and that Charles was going to come straight from his trip and apparently give Andrew a scolding, and that was then what they were going to, be reporting on. By the way, in all of this, the media is loving this. They're really just loving this because they're getting limited stuff from Harry and Meghan, and whatever they're getting from Harry and Meghan is what Harry and Meghan want to give them. So they need to feast on blood somewhere else. And now Harry and Meghan are out of the way and can't be used as a distraction. Have you noticed that less and less over the last year? Whenever something comes up about the royals, you don't see the level of viciousness that we used to see using Harry and Meghan as a distraction. The royals have now lost their scapegoat and they are now front and center. Even with this latest heckling incident I'm going to show you, it was quite interesting that almost every major news outlet has actually reported on this. Resistors, you said they have no skills and no work ethic to keep a regular job. No. Ron, you said Andrew's a scum, but it's pretty low to put father against daughter. And that's exactly what William would do. William wants Andrew out of the way before he becomes king. He doesn't want to have to deal with the Andrew problem, which is what we're now calling it. He doesn't care about any victims involved. None of them do. They just want Andrew out of the way. I hope Andrew is wearing his seatbelt at all times, and perhaps let the royal corgis have a sip of your tea before you eat or drink anything. Just slip the corgis a bite and see if that dog's still breathing within the hour. Andrew better be sleeping with an eye open, because now they're even saying, oh, what if he writes a book? What if Fergie writes a book? Because if they cut them off financially, well, they're going to need money from somewhere. Who are they going to get it from? Epstein is gone. We're going to sell some cash honors for cash? They have coddled Andrew for so long that they have created a situation where they have a bomb that could go off at any minute if they don't continue to coddle him. Lottie said, these people are sick. I think William is getting too damn big for his britches. I'm so glad that Harry and Meghan are not there, indeed. Benjamin, William is going to take their titles anyway. They shouldn't be fooled later. I see tons of accusations in that family after Charles goes, unfortunately. You know, I wish people would stop saying, not to you, Benjamin, you've made a very good point, but I wish people would stop saying, oh, you know, William can't take the titles, you know, it has to go through Parliament and this, that, and the third. Listen, these people are corrupt as hell. If they have to change the rules tomorrow, all of this, you need Parliament to take the titles nonsense will be gone. Have you seen this government? Have you not been watching the last 5 or 6 years with these royals? They'll change the law and the rules to suit them. William will find a way to change the laws to suit him. Thank you for joining from Boston. You said, have you seen the Australia 60 Minutes interview with Andrews, ex-security officer? I have not. I probably won't, to be honest, because Australia 60 Minutes can be quite anti-Harry and Meghan. But it's interesting that the ex-security officer is speaking. I hope he's saying something that would be useful to the victims, because they're what's important here. They are real people, not just a headline. Cookies and Cream, you said that ungodly family thought that they would be able to use finances to control the Sussexes. They got rude awakening. The Sussexes are financial independent. Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much, Nash, for being a member for 35 months. Much appreciated. And thank you also for the super sticker. Thank you. Appreciate you all. Benjamin, you said William will not have a calm kingship. I hope he does not. He doesn't deserve one. That crown is gonna go on his head, and it's gonna be the coldest thing that he has ever felt. Sometimes getting what you want is your karma. Laganji said, the problem is that if the York sisters bulk to William, he will always use those titles to keep them in line. My guess is that they are making this up to make William look authoritative, but he looks idiotic. Yeah. This is a trend that I've seen, that, you know, they keep using all these words. William's being ruthless. Oh, apparently Kate's now also being ruthless, according to Liz Jones. Where is this stupid headline? Kate's apparently being ruthless. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, because this is the same lady that let a lie run that Meghan made her cry. But I don't think she has any authority over this Andrew situation. Also, there is talk that Andrew could go to Frogmore Cottage after Harry and Meghan paid $2.4 million for it, for the renovations. Paid the money back. Stick him anywhere that's just small and humble. I mean, stick him in jail, really. But the likelihood of that happening, I don't know. Pretty low at this point. but just stick him anywhere where he's not going to be able to live in a stupidly big, lavish lifestyle. No staff, no perks, just enough for meal prep and the water and electric bill. That's it. They don't need everything else. Now, next thing we're gonna oh dear, did I not? Okay, do you know what's so annoying? I did not load the videos. I didn't load the video. Okay. Unfortunately, I didn't load the video, but I had the stills, and the stills tell you everything. So just to explain, you can go and watch my short because I did a short on this. But just to explain, Charles was out and about, and somebody started asking, you know, what do you think about Andrew and Epstein? Now, the crazy lady that you can see there, who's turned around, she's looking at the protester. Now, there was only one, okay, who was brave enough to speak. When he spoke up, people started booing him, and this crazy royalist screaming and yelling. This is the face of hardline royalists. Like, she literally looks like something out of medieval Britain. The hair, the teeth. This is what it looks like when you haven't self-actualized in life, when your entire personality revolves around people that wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. I don't think we talk enough about how the fairy tale around the royal family, this fairy tale idea, and then you've also got the fact that it's very, very attached to national identity also, but how it's almost cult-like in nature. Because to me, it doesn't make sense that someone is speaking up for victims, asking serious questions about whether or not this institution and the person at the head of this institution, currently Charles, knew about an abuser and protected him. It's a perfectly reasonable thing to be asking. And there were people in this crowd booing and heckling the protester for doing nothing but speaking truth. And now you have idiots on daytime TV, on that Vanessa Phelps show, saying that it was unclassy for somebody to be asking this question.
Whatever anyone says, I just watched it myself, it's fact. That was heckling. To be shouting out at the king like that, I just think is really low class, and I think he should have been removed.
Do you?
Yeah, I do think he should have been removed.
And then there's, of course, the argument that we've heard from both your co-panelists about, freedom of speech, and we are free to say things that people might not want to hear.
Do, but not shout and scream at someone.
But
whatever anyone says, I just watched it myself, it's fact. That was heckling. To be shouting out at the king like that, I just think is really low class, and I think...
So shouting at Charles, who's at the top of this institution that is currently protecting an accused sexual predator, that's not unclassy. But somebody asking for truth, that's unclassy. Okay, so if I'm wanting to protest now, I have to do so in a calm and polite voice, because the only tone I would want to use when talking about predators is an angry tone. Now you're tone policing us when we're asking the questions that need to be asked. You want us to ask politely? No, sir. We're going to ask with the anger and vigor that it deserves. Never heard anything so ridiculous in my life. Unbelievable. Thank you, Kat Harlem, for being a member for 39 months. Appreciate you so much. I will indeed keep it up. Please remember, if you want to join membership, you can via oh, sorry, noise in the background. Sorry if you heard that noise in the background. You can join via YouTube, but I do prefer through Buy Me a Coffee if you can, only because YouTube takes such a big cut of creators' income. But I appreciate whatever avenue you choose. There's a link to Buy Me a Coffee if you want to join membership for Buy Me a Coffee. And appreciate you all. Yeah, that crown will be William's karma. Let's have a look. The York sisters don't have titles like Countess, Duchess, but they do have HRHs that William could remove without Parliament's involvement. He'll find a way. Yeah, these losers are insane. Yeah, they're being protected with that lady's right there, her taxpayer money. I think when you don't have a lot going for you, like you tend to attach yourself, your personality to something. All right. Next thing. William. Oh, before I actually get onto it, I don't actually know much about the Windsor estate. I've never seen how big it is. I've never seen an aerial shot of it. Now here it is. It's massive. And you have William apparently rolling around the estate on a scooter, trying to seem relatable. Now, when you look at the estate, you can see why one might need a scooter to get from A to B. But to try and make it out like you're being humble for using a scooter, ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. I've never been to Windsor Castle, so I've never been on the grounds of the Windsor estate. But it's massive. Absolutely massive. And you can see where all the place, all of the castles are placed. Wow. And this is what we're sitting here having a debate over. Which one of the castles on the Windsor estate is that nonce gonna get? What a life. Absolutely not a fairy tale. Fergie said it herself. All right. Next thing. Earthshot is coming. And William is already peeing people off. So long story short, because I'm not going to read the whole article, but long story short, they asked the Brazilian chef to prepare a meal, but they asked the chef to prepare a meal that was vegan. Now, the chef wanted to prepare a meal that was obviously authentic to his culture, and the one of the fishes, one of the things that he wanted to add to the menu was a particular type of fish. Now, this particular type of fish apparently was in low supply, but through sustainable fishing efforts and communities looking after the environment, the fish was able to come back to normal numbers. So through the local communities and working with the nature, that they were able to rehabilitate this fish in the wild. And so he wanted to include the fish, as part of, that's what Earthshot is meant to be about, right? Now, the thing about the whole vegan thing is that it obviously ignores that the indigenous people, they don't overfish. They don't overfish. They don't, kill off too much of the wildlife. They're able to eat in sync with the natural cycles while keeping the populations of whatever animals, wildlife, fish is there. So the whole vegan thing, it kind of it leaves out the way indigenous people are able to live harmoniously without the problems of overconsumption that that often leads to people bringing the argument of, veganism and vegetarianism, that we should eat less meat. So they didn't take too well to that, and I think it shows the tone deafness of whoever is organizing Earthshot. Now they're coming back and saying, well, Prince William is not involved in the menu choice. But when you consider what I just said about the story of the fish, and that being an example of sustainability and rehabilitation of an organism in the wild, that should actually go in line with the Earthshot message. And there's no reason why they couldn't have just had two menus, had one vegan menu and one non-vegan menu. William, of course, will be flying in celebrities for the event, but you know who's not coming? Kate. Now, I think this may be the third or so Earthshot. I think the last time we saw Kate at Earthshot with this green dress, I believe this was Boston, was it not? She will not be going. And I just find it mighty interesting that the media isn't asking more questions about why she's not going. So this is from Celebrity. Princess Kate will skip the Rio Earthshot events because of the Forest Lodge move, apparently. It's still fascinating to see the complete lack of commentary around the Princess of Wales refusing to attend her husband's Earthshot prize ceremonies. Indeed. Kate only went to the first two Earthshot events. She skipped in 2023 because George had a test. A hilariously dumb excuse. He had a test, but they have about 10 nannies. Isn't that what we're paying 146 million for, or whatever it is that we're paying for? So he can have 6 nannies and he doesn't have to, Kate doesn't have to miss a test. She skipped last year's event because her health was too fragile to travel internationally for anything other than vacations. Ah, yes. She was good enough to travel for vacations, but too fragile to travel internationally for anything else. Speaking of, Kate has travelled a lot this year. Several ski trips to the Alps, a vacation in Mustique in February, several weeks on a yacht in Greece, and probably several more vacations which we don't even know about. But when it comes time for travel for work, Kate seems to bugger off. She will not join her husband in Rio. She even had a brand new excuse. She can't go to Rio because she's moving to Forest Lodge. So this is from People. They've obviously been briefing to People. Kate Middleton won't join Prince William in Brazil for a key royal outing. The Prince of Wales is set to travel solo to Rio de Janeiro for his Earthshot Prize ceremony on November 5th. The Earthshot Prize searches the world for environmental solutions. Now, the 5 winners, by the way, are given a prize total of 1 million each. I don't keep up with the other Earthshot Prize winners, but I wonder if they all got their money. Following the events in Rio, William will then head to the UN Climate Conference in Belém, Brazil. Meanwhile, Princess Kate will be staying at home with the couple's 3 children. They will be relocating. The relocation serves as a fresh start for the family. Oh, I wish I could have a fresh start in a mansion that was paid for by the taxpayer after the same taxpayer renovated my last palace at the cost of £12 million, and that wasn't good enough. So now I want to move to another castle and have a fresh start in another humble home, so-called humble home, which is 25 million bedrooms in a whole castle. Must be nice to have such a fresh start. So the article ends by saying, granted, I acknowledge that much of this isn't even Kate's choice. While I doubt she wants to go to any Earthshot events, William absolutely does not want her there. And that's the other thing that we're not talking about. I don't actually just think it's Kate being lazy. I think that Kate would love to wear some jewels and a fancy dress and be on the cover of all the papers. I also think William just doesn't want her to be there. That goes back to all of those suspicious stories in 2023 about how we would see William stepping out solo more often. We also saw articles about Kate stepping out solo more often and how he acts like a hot divorced dad or something. They were hyping up solo single William a lot the months before Kate's mysterious hospitalization in January 2024. Indeed, they were. And there were rumors at the time that perhaps the divorce was coming, and then it never came because Kate got ill. And the precancerous cells. One day we're going to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. One day. Let's see. She hasn't gone since Boston because William doesn't want her there. They're always making up excuses. Indeed. Indeed. Emma Grade had a vegan theme party, so copycat William wants similar and it has backfired. I don't actually know if they asked for this before or after that event with Emma, but do you know what? Now that you said it, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd have to check the date just so we're not, giving misinformation. But I wouldn't be surprised. So who's he coming with? His Rose? I don't know. Maybe Tom Cruise. Benjamin, you said they're either separated or Will's prefers his own friends. I mean, the thing is, I actually see William with friends. I don't see Kate with friends. Black Lily, you said, therein lies a problem with William and his colonial empire mentality stuff. Instead of educating themselves beforehand, they want to swoop in with do it our way approach. Indeed. Okay. I think that is all. Great to see Harry and Meghan out and about. William's going to go to his earthworm thing. It's always a funny day. We always have something to laugh about whenever William goes to Earthshot. Whether it's people making awkward faces when he tries to joke, or, when he was fishing for clams in the river. Earthshot is always a fun time. Earthshot is definitely William's boys' trip. Wink, wink. Yeah, I wonder if Jason Knopf or Christian Jones will be with him. Jason probably will, because I think he's still involved with the Royal Foundation. Yep, boys' trip. Wink, wink. All right. I'm going to end things there. Thank you as always, everyone. Please pray for Jamaica and saw the storms. They're hoping everyone's okay. Happy everybody got their As Ever products and it seems like it's not selling out and they've got enough. So that's fantastic. So you still got a chance to go get your As Ever products if you want them. Appreciate you all as always. October has been a great month. And now, following the As Ever drop, we're going to get the With Love Meghan Christmas special. I wouldn't be surprised if we probably got the trailer this week also. Fingers crossed. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe button on your way out. Links in the description box if you would like to donate. And I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.